What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will share how I started in the credit game. Hopefully you can take something out of this video and enjoy the ride as I discuss my credit journey. Growing up, when I mentioned credit, my family was against it. My family would tell me if I get a credit card, I will fall into debt, ruining my life. I've always thought credit was terrible from a very young age. My immediate family would use their debit card or pay cash for everything, but it was mostly cash. It just seemed like everyone used cash back in the day. But there was this preconception that credit was awful based on a family member's experience with a credit card. So anytime I mentioned a credit card, it was forbidden, and I guess to some extent that helped me be very cautious when it came to credit. I don't know how or why I knew about credit at such a young age, but somehow I knew that credit was necessary. I want to say that my mother was the light that ignited my flame for business and credit at a very young age. I didn't know it at the time though. My mother was someone that would consistently create new companies. Some were profitable, others weren't, but she never stopped striving to work for herself and create the life she wanted. So from a very young age, my mother installed that mentality into all of her kids, my brother and sisters. Anytime we were good at something or knowledgeable, she would always encourage us to monetize it into a business. A few examples of when she would encourage an entrepreneurial mindset was when I watched a friend's dog one weekend. Then that one weekend turned into more weekends, and eventually my mother encouraged me to make it into a business, and I did just that. Another example was when my family would throw a garage sale in the neighborhood every year. It always seemed to be on a hot sunny day, and I would make a big sign saying lemonade and cookies for sale. And surprisingly, that generated a bit of money. But from a very young age, I was always encouraged to work for myself. I took a financial literacy class in high school that opened me up to the idea of credit. I was taught about credit, how to use credit, and interpersonal skills like how you should conduct yourself in business. If I'm being honest, I wanted to take this class not only for finance, but because this class required us to dress up every Wednesday in business attire, which excited me because I wanted to feel like a business person. We had to perform presentations in front of the class about business topics and dress the part. But this financial literacy class opened up the world of personal finance and credit. The financial literacy class was an elective class that I was not required to take. Still, for some reason, I've always been drawn to personal finance and credit from a very young age, even before high school. However, this was the opportunity to go into detail about personal finance and credit, and I decided to educate myself and learn all about it. So when I graduated high school, I worked full-time for 6 months. I then picked up another job as a part-timer, worked both jobs for a couple of months, and then saved up $10,000. And I guess it was because of this financial literacy class that I was very frugal with my money, never wanting to spend it on things I didn't need. I was the penny pincher in my friend group. When we went out, I usually got something not too expensive and water. I just had a different mindset. I wanted to buy a house or use this for an investment, but I knew I needed to use this money to invest in myself. And now that I look back at it, it was crazy to think that at 18, 19 years old, I was thinking like that. So a year later or so, I didn't know about the relationship you establish with banks. I've always seen the bank as a bank, a building where I collect my money. But from the knowledge I learned from this financial literacy class I took in high school, I decided to go to my local credit union and open a secured credit card. I had taken $5,000 out of my savings and used it to fund this secured credit card. The rest was history. Once I obtained a few personal cards and showed how I was building credit without going into debt, I told my family now was the time they started getting into credit cards. I explained the benefits of credit cards and how they can achieve them too. They believed credit cards were terrible because they weren't knowledgeable about them and how to handle them properly. But one thing led to another, and now everyone in my immediate family holds 2 to 3 credit cards. It's rewarding to see how they hated credit to loving it, expressing to everyone how they have low interest rates because of their excellent credit. So although it took some time, I now have this sense of satisfaction knowing they take pride in their credit. So as time went on, I just had this passion burning inside of me for credit, personal finance, business, and all things related. I remember I would be searching on YouTube about credit, just trying to understand it more and more, like a lot of you are doing here, learning about Navy Federal. There were days I would go on Credit Karma looking at my scores multiple times a day. That's how obsessed I was with credit. I prided myself on having credit at such a young age, and I knew that one day I wanted to purchase a house, car, and much more, so I was heavily into increasing my credit score. Once I got into the credit game, I got a business credit card with Chase that helped me fund my business, so I knew that credit could help me fund businesses without locking up my funds. I was a clothes reseller. I just used the bank's money and wasn't paying any interest. But since I was a young kid, I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit. I attended college, received my associates, worked for a few years, and landed a high-paying job at a huge well-known company. However, I've always felt alienated since I started working at 18. I always worked hard in everything I've done, doing my best and reaping the rewards of it. But I've always felt there was something better for me. And I don't knock anyone for wanting to work the 9 to 5. Others find fulfillment, but I've always wanted to work for myself. This led me furthering down the rabbit hole of creating different businesses and using credit to fund those businesses. Once I got into credit cards spiked my interest. However, credit cards have increased my credit score, allowing me to travel for free with more protection, lowered my interest rates, and helped me obtain higher limit credit cards and funded my businesses. Using credit cards to your advantage allows you to do what you'd want that you may not have been able to do without credit. I am not claiming to be a financial advisor or a guru, but someone who loves to continue to learn and share that knowledge with all of you. I have 14 personal and business credit cards combined with a maximum of $148,000 in credit limits. It took me about 5 years to acquire all these credit cards. It wasn't just an overnight thing. Some of these credit cards I obtained when I had bad credit or was in the state of rebuilding credit, and others were when I had excellent credit. So there's a mix of credit cards that I've acquired over the years. As most of you know, I took the leap of faith and started YouTube about a year and a few months ago, bringing the knowledge I have to all of you. It was insane to see how fast this channel grew. YouTube didn't feel like a job, something I genuinely love, which is helping people to accomplish their goals. It's great to see a community helping each other out. We are all in this credit game together. Not only that, but hearing the success stories in the comments of the videos is inspiring. I just want to thank you all, and I hope this video helped you in any type of way, and hopefully you all got to know me a little bit better. I aim to give you as much information about personal finance and credit so you can use that information to your advantage. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the following video. Peace.